me. I mentioned I didn't learn anything new in that class.
Okay.
And we're live.
Hey guys, it's me, Michael Petrucha. Glad to finally be here on the podcast.
Hello, gentlemen. It's me, Dylan Hill.
And it's me, Jeremy.
That's the dog.
That's Spencer. Alright.
Alright. Well, this is officially the first full episode Michael's been on. So, we need you to introduce yourself.
I assumed you had already pretty much introduced me.
Not really. We just talked about Star
just
Wars
talked
and
about
you
how
kind of sat there a whole lot.
We just talked about how we want you on the podcast, and now you're here.
Okay.
Tell us about yourself, Michael. What makes you... Tell us about yourself, Michael.
Okay.
And maybe we talk about your dad.
Alright, introduce myself and maybe we talk about my dad.
Because that's what this podcast is about.
Welcome to the Backpedalers podcast.
We talked about his stepbrother and how he put cum on his sister.
Oh, fuck!
On this podcast.
Have I heard that story? I don't think I have.
Okay, I remembered a fucking
you can-
horrible
okay.
Jerry story recently.
Okay, we can redo that episode because of how bad the audio is in that episode, and
Yeah.
it'd be okay.
No problem.
But we could talk about the cum story on here.
We could talk about cum. Introduce
cum story.
yourself, Michael, and we'll talk about cum.
Alright. Hey, my name's Michael. I enjoy stories about cum.
That's cool. So, it's like, I believe we're in high school. It's either
It was
freshman.
before he burned down the garage.
It's before
right?
he burned down the garage.
Okay, and he did that like sophomore, junior year. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't think it was junior.
Our sophomore, junior.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because junior year I was gone.
Oh, I guess that's true.
First semester of junior year I was in Oregon, so it definitely wasn't then. Sophomore year, my stepbrother. Do we have any stepbrother story? I've definitely mentioned him throughout podcasts. I've
We
mentioned
did a whole episode on your stepbrother.
Yeah,
and I think we referred to him as your shit brother.
I didn't. Fucking, you probably did.
I did. You're like, yeah, my shit.
I'm not sure if the cum story was there.
Yes, it was.
Jeremy, for whatever
Oh, yes, it was. I
fucking
edited that episode.
for
It was
whatever
there.
fucking reason, I'm just sitting on my laptop. It's like it's morning. I'm just waiting to walk to school. And my stepsister walks out and she's doing whatever. She's being annoying, and then Jeremy walks out. Jeremy, my brother. Yeah, that's why fuck, you guys gotta have the same name. Makes the stories difficult.
I know.
Jeremy walks out, and for whatever reason, he's so proud of himself because he's got cum on his hand.
I mean, it's an accomplishment.
He had just jerked off, and for whatever reason, he walked out. He's showing off that he had a little bit of cum on his hand that he missed when he was cleaning up. And Kaya said, "Ew, that's gross." And so he went, "Okay, I got it." And he wipes it on her arm. And so Kaya, starts gagging and tries to explain how disgusting it is. And the more she tries to explain, the more she comes to.
Comes?
Yeah, she came too. And she kept almost vomiting, and so Jeremy just kind of laughed and walked on with his day, and then Kaya getting pissed off and telling mom.
No! Oh,
was the fucking best part.
You didn't talk about that.
No, nothing came of it. Kaya just got mad and told mom.
Jeremy did.
Jeremy wiped cum on me. And she's like, "Don't do that to your sister." And that's like all she said.
What action is that?
Okay.
Teresa's not a very strict stepmother, and she just never gets Jeremy in trouble. Which is why he kicks holes in the wall. That's why I have to discipline him.
Okay. So I consider myself a fairly empathetic person. I don't act on my empathy, but I like to think I do a pretty decent job of at least understanding where people are coming from and why they think the shit they do, even if I don't agree with it.
It's penis.
However, I cannot even begin to fathom what he must have been thinking. To think, I got cum in my hand, I can wipe it on my sister.
He said this will be funny.
I couldn't even fathom anyone doing that to your sister.
What?
Horrible,
I mean that horrible
Talk about
woman
that
married
horrible
to your
woman.
brother.
talk about that horrible woman.
Talk about that. Okay. Well, I got a story from today.
Oh,
I gotta,
fuck.
I mean, Dylan's heard this recurrent story a million times. This is just
Can
the.
we backpedal real fast to why I refer to
Sure.
your sister as that horrible woman? Stop. This is my last can of compressed
What's
air.
going on?
Stop that.
Okay, we're telling a story here.
All right, so the first time I ever went to Michael's house, it was like his going away party, or was it your coming? It was your going
Going
away
away
We're going
party.
away.
It was your going away party, and
Like
his
years ago.
brother-in-law, no longer brother-in-law,
Still,
still.
yeah.
Is it still?
Nothing came.
His
of
brother-in-law.
the turmoil.
His brother-in-law was there, and I'm like, oh, Michael has a brother that's a lot older than him. That's cool. He seems like a decent dude. And then I never saw him because he went and hung out with your parents, and we had the whole house to ourselves. And then stop that! Stop fucking touching.
They're
my stuff.
fucking disorganized. I'm quietly doing it.
Oh my god!
Get back
Anyway,
to the podcast.
like this woman comes in with the.
Awful.
I think your nephews. Your niece wasn't born yet.
No.
Not even.
Your nephews were there, and they were just being kids. And she's just, like, screaming at them. And I'm like, who is... I was sitting next to Dylan, and I turned to him, like, who is this horrible woman that Michael's brother's married to? And Dylan's like, you don't know? That's Michael's sister. Michael doesn't have a brother. I'm like, oh.
He's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Ever since then, I've referred to as that horrible woman because the 2 times I've had contact with her, she's thrown a tantrum each time, like severely screaming and like, oh, I guess we can't be here anymore. Oh no.
I mean,
I'm
every time I've had contact with her, she's thrown a tantrum.
That's your entire life.
Does that.
All right. So I was driving home from dinner tonight.
Do you want another nephew?
What?
Do you want another nephew?
What are you asking of me here,
I
Dylan?
think I can work something out.
Okay, so I was driving home from dinner tonight, and it's me and my mom. We're driving, and she just mentions in passing, because she's just talking to me about life lately. She mentions in passing that because I think we're talking about our phone plan, because I bought her a phone. I pay for her phone every month.
Oh, okay, nice.
Scoot closer, because editing is going to be fucking hell if you're not super close like I am.
All right.
Just speak a little louder.
So we're talking
Carry a
about the
big
phone
stick.
because I pay for her phone, and she just makes a comment like, oh, it's so wonderful, you pay for this phone every month. I rarely see it. Your sister always has the phone. She's always coming and taking it from me because she needs to be able to get in contact with her kids at school, or her husband's at work and she needs to be able to call his work. I never have my phone. Your sister always has my phone. And it just immediately clicks, and I go, oh, so that's why yesterday I got an email telling me that all of our monthly data allowance has been used up. This is like the fucking 5th time in the last year and a half that this has happened. Every time my data runs out, I call my mom. Hey, Mom, have you been using our data? She's, for context, an older woman, doesn't know technology. She's not using our data. She's not off watching the YouTubes like the kids do. So, I call my mom. Hey, Mom, we ran out of data. You don't know how to use your phone. Do you know what happened? Oh, it's because I gave it to your sister. I mean, okay. She's not apologetic about it. It's not, oh, it's okay, your sister did it. It's, oh, I'm going to your sister's house and I'm taking my phone back. I told her not to use the data. Every time. My sister takes the phone. My mom tells her, keep the data off. Don't use it. Your brother pays for that phone. You guys keep having him pay the overage fees. Stop doing that. And it's, we don't use the data. We turn it off. We keep it off. Nuh-uh. We are not doing it. And then 2 days later, they burn through 2 fucking gigabytes of data.
Jesus.
It's the older sister.
Yeah, Michael is the youngest.
Yes, she is, what is she? She is 7 years older than me.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I didn't realize she was that much older.
Yeah.
Oh, that's even worse. She's about to hit 30?
She's about to hit 30.
Fuck.
She acts
No!
like a 5-year-old.
What the hell?
Her children act more mature than she does. Oh my god! But you know,
One of them.
Okay, I was gonna say one of them is starting to become a nice young boy.
One of them is taken after me. I like that one. The other one's taken after his mom. I am obligated to love him.
You don't have to, trust me. Anyway, but my suggestion to you is either give her an ultimatum, tell her she has to pay the overdrafts, or you're just gonna shut off the phone. I know it's shitty for your mom, but in order to keep your money in check, you have the power. You are the one who has control over that situation. I'd shut it off.
I have the power. I'm a very forgiving individual when it comes to family.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when it comes to anything that'll impact my mom, because she is the most glorious human being that ever walked
she's
this planet.
not your dad.
Yeah.
Can we?
Mom's a sweetheart. It's time to talk about Dad.
Let's just get the rest of the podcast. Mr. Petrucha stories.
Mr.
right.
Petrucha.
I don't know.
I
Remember his
thought
first name?
I thought they were calling John. Oh, you're calling John Mr. Petrucha.
Yeah. Okay, it is John. I almost said that, but I didn't want to be
Wrong?
wrong. Yeah.
I can relate. Alright, so the story from tonight. I get home. As I walk through the door.
Hell yeah, new story.
As I walk through the door, I'm talking to my mom because I think she was expecting me to just drop her off and then leave to come here. But I went inside because I need her to sign some paperwork, and I was going to pick up the TV that she said I could have, which I ended up not taking because she was like, "Oh, it's raining, it's not safe. I don't think it's a good idea." But I'm going inside, and as we're walking through the door, I say to her, I think I'm in the middle of a sentence, and as the door opens, I say, "And I want to pick up the TV while I'm here." "Oh, it's raining, not a good idea, blah, blah, blah." Well, that's the first thing my dad hears as I walk through the door is, "And I want to pick up the TV." I walk in, of course I don't say hi to him. The sushi hit me pretty hard. I went straight to the bathroom.
Oh yeah. We had sushi earlier today with Michael's mom and our friend Tony.
And the moment Jeremy got home, he had his second dinner because he did not have a large meal.
Your meal was so much smaller than I expected.
You had this little mini pile of noodles that you just kind of stared at when it got there. You're like, "Well, fucking all right."
I didn't know what I was getting.
It
was good.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I expected it to be a soup, to be something related.
Well, it wasn't
to ramen.
a soup. It was in a soup originally, but by the texture, I could tell that.
I had no idea what you even ordered.
Soba, I believe.
It just got there and it surprised me.
And I should have ordered the soba meal, but I'm like, what if it's a lot of food? You know,
I expected.
Your mom got a feast.
My mom
I don't
got
think
so
she
much
expected that.
She clearly did when she got just the beginning shit. I could tell that she was like, "My phone just crashed. That's cool."
You need a new phone, dude.
You've been saying that for enough years.
Your volume part, the part that has your volumes falling
It's
off.
not falling off.
Oh, it's gone.
It's just off.
It's gone. Oh my god, your
shit.
trim's gone.
It's because whenever I wake up and I have to set my alarm off, I click it and then I just push off the bed. All right, go on about Maury.
Oh no! So I go to the bathroom, and as I'm going into the bathroom, my dad starts screaming from the living room. Bear in mind, he's alone in the living room. We're at the opposite end of the house. It's not a particularly big house, but it's still worth noting that we are at the other end of it.
This is the norm.
This is the norm. He talks to himself. He's got something going on. He talks to himself, but he's screaming. He starts screaming. I want to get close to the original wording, but it's something like, "Isn't it wonderful that whenever somebody leaves, they leave a mess for us to clean up? It's our responsibility to clean their room whenever we have somebody in the house who leaves."
He's Smeagol.
He's a golem, that's for sure.
It's a strange amalgamation of words, but the implications of it is that he was talking about me moving out, and I don't know what cleaning he's talking about. They stored their own stuff in my room. My dad's bicycle is stored in my room. But
that was a fun
I don't
surprise.
think your dad can ride a bicycle. Let's be honest.
Oh,
It's a
electric
swag.
bike.
It's a swag cycle.
I don't think he can ride that.
specifically.
I've seen him on it, surprisingly.
I think that he crashes and just doesn't tell it. Oh no, he would tell you. He's the kind of person that would make sure everyone in your neighborhood knew
He'd blame
that
it
he
on Michael.
crashed it.
Oh yeah, but no. So I don't know what cleaning he's talking about, because there's more stuff in my room now than when I left. They put their stuff. They stored all their Christmas stuff in my room, but I don't know. The implication is that he's complaining about cleaning up after me when I moved out. but he's in the living room screaming, "Isn't it wonderful? Whenever someone leaves, we clean up their mess." I just roll my eyes. This is the norm. I tone him out. I'm sitting on the porcelain throne. He's screaming, and then he says some shit. I wish I could remember precisely what it was, but I hear him. He's kind of calming down, so he's returning to his more natural state, which is usually more mumbling to himself, just loud enough for people to hear, because he wants to be heard, but he wants them to know that he's mumbling. So he's kind of easing back into the state of mumbling loud enough for people to hear. And
Is that for me or you?
For me, I need the cough drops.
Here's the cough drops, Jeremy. Yeah.
I'm trying not to.
Here come the
into
cough
them.
drops.
so he
Look close to
says,
the mic.
as he's like loudly mumbling, something about a television, something about, oh, you know what? I believe he mumbles the phrase, "I have money, I could buy 100 televisions." That's what it is. He jumps straight from, I have to clean up after him. I could buy 100 televisions, and that's when I have to call out from my toilet adventures. Oh, that's what he's upset about. Because that's how it works with my dad. He hears something that he doesn't like, and he goes off on 10 tangents complaining about things.
Moving
And
along the
at
house.
at the end, you'll hear him bring up what he originally got angry about. Cause no. Okay. So like
He talks about how like you're not in the war, how you don't do your dishes.
About how he
and then
wants
it
to
goes
take a
back.
shit on the couch.
Oh yeah,
That's a good one.
he used to shit on the couch when he was a kid. I remember that. That was a great story.
this man, he fucking okay. So when I started buying my own groceries, because I remember when I moved home, when I moved back home, I remember I was buying my own groceries, and then after I lost my job and got a new one, I'm pretty sure that's when I stopped buying my own groceries because I was hard on cash, and I started just eating whatever my parents had in the house. And then when I had a better income, when I got my most recent job, and I started buying my own groceries again, I don't know what it was. My dad fucking I know what it was. My dad hated seeing me have money because he didn't have any. So every 2 weeks when I would get paid and bring home groceries, he would fucking go off. I would be unloading my groceries, and he'd be in the living room, and he'd be screaming, and it would be like Dylan said, it would be "You're not in the war," and then it would be, "Do you know what he did last night? He used a pot to cook dinner, and I had to wash it for him, cause that's his job. He doesn't work. He doesn't contribute to the household. He does our dishes. That's how he earns his keep. But he okay." It's he's not in the war. I cleaned his dishes. It's, you know what I did last month? I vacuumed.
You don't have a vacuum. Or did you just get a vacuum?
We just
Okay,
got
you
vacuumed.
just got a vacuum. Never mind.
But
Broke
and
the
then
canon.
and then it's like, if it weren't for my sperm, he wouldn't be alive. He should be grateful I brought him into this world. And then it's oh god, I don't even know. He'll jump to, do you know when he woke up yesterday? Noon! Do you know when I wake up? I wake up at 5 a.m. and cook you breakfast, Vicky. Because he'll wake up make an egg, and then go back to sleep. It's a kind of nice thing that he does, but he paints it out as, I've been
The greatest thing he's ever, accomplished today,
It kind of is the greatest thing he accomplished.
That is true.
But no, it's tangents, irrelevant shit. And
don't know why I
10
think
minutes into it,
Show and tell.
it'll be, back at the time, it was, I'm 1 year away from getting my Social Security, and then I'll buy all the food in this house, and his money won't fucking matter, because I'll bring in so much more money than anyone else in this house. And nowadays,
Social Security works.
Nowadays,
Make more than your mother.
Nowadays, it's he bought himself some fucking pastaroni. I buy all the food in this house. He's intimidated. He's intimidated that his son has an income.
God, well, your dad has so many intimidation issues. I have one John Petrucha story that directly affects me. So I only went to Michael's parents' house twice, ever. And it's because of the second time that I just, So, Logan, our good friend Logan, and I showed up to Michael. Michael lived in South Carolina for a little while.
North Carolina
For a little while.
Roughly.
And he came back with his, at the time, girlfriend, who didn't like any of us, but that's a whole nother story.
Well, she didn't like you guys because you were too young for her. But she liked the youngest of all of my friends, of course.
Fucking Ian. Anyway, so, we got there a little early, and I parked
Youngest
by your
years.
neighbor's house. And, a little time later, other people were showing up, and John comes around, and he's like, "Who parked at the neighbor's house? Who did this?" And he's, going off, screaming through the house. And I was like, "It was me, sir." And at the time, I didn't have the dad bod I have now. I was in pretty good shape.
Thick boy.
And I'm significantly bigger than Michael's dad. And he's like, "Oh, could you move, please? The neighbor's having a panic attack." And just kind of walks briskly away, as briskly as your dad can walk.
Okay, to be fair, my dad's a decent walker. That's the one thing he can do.
It is true, but it wasn't a hustle, but it was meant to look like a hustle.
He moved his arms really quick and they walked away at normal speed.
It was like this was it earlier today when Dylan, you were walking up on me and you were making really quick footsteps in place, and so I thought you were running up on me, but you were moving very slowly.
That was yesterday at grocery outlet when we were closing, when I was walking by the freezers.
That was last night when we were closing.
Okay, so you okay with saying your work?
Well, it's too late now.
Oh, I can edit it out. That's not a problem.
I don't care.
Okay, because we
I've been
don't
wanting to tell so
say my employment.
I've been wanting
on here.
to tell so many fucking grocery outlet stories. I've been waiting for Michael, but first you gotta mention your parents being on a Maury.
Alright, that's fair. So the most infamous tape to ever enter my life is the VHS copy of when my parents were on Maury Povich. This was I'm trying to remember.
Well, can
This
you
was
explain? Some of my audience doesn't know what that is. Can you do
It's just nice Jerry Springer.
It's Jerry Springer, but before Jerry.
Okay.
So it's bringing people on, talking about their life drama.
They had
it's
Maury
a
on-
drama show. It's like a drama talk show. Bring people on, talk about what's going on in their life. Always fucking, he cheated on me. I had his baby. I don't know whose baby it is. I cheated on him. It's you are not the father.
Yeah, okay. It's Jerry Springer, pretty much.
Yeah.
I've
I've heard this story before, but some of my audience would know.
It's Jerry Springer, but people don't get up and just try to fist fight each other, so they have 300-pound bouncers around them.
Pretty much. So
They just got Michael's dad and his sweet young mom.
This is an episode of
Fucking
Maury.
sweet.
This is I can't remember. This is either right before I was born or right after I was born.
I'm pretty sure it was before.
So, likely... Oh, you know what? They were still in L.A. They were in L.A. This was right before I was born. I think my mom might have been pregnant with me at the time.
Can I sidetrack here? Dylan is actually a Petrucha genealogist, and that's how he knows more about Michael's family history than Michael does.
This is true. I majored in this.
This is my main focus of study for my postgraduate.
It was in middle school before I met him, so when I saw him, I was like, okay, I gotta slide my way right into this fucking friendship. Easy as shit, by the way.
All right, so this is right before I'm born.
No problem.
There's an episode of Maury. You know, they do this shit. I think they do this on like all of these style of shows. I think they do them on things like Dr. Phil, Jerry Springer, where at the end or maybe during the commercials they'll say, "Do you know somebody who insert topic here? Call us and get them on the show." Well, they do that for freeloaders. It's, do you know somebody who's leeching off of their significant other? They don't contribute to the relationship or household, and they are unwanted, but they just won't leave. Call us and get them on the show. We will fly them out for free, etc., etc. Well, one of my mom's friends thought it was a great idea when they saw the blurb for the leeches.
It was a great idea.
To call in.
Funny idea.
To call in. Oh, my friend and her... I can't say husband. I don't think they were married until after I was born. My friend and her boyfriend, they're the epitome of, you know, what you guys are talking about. I would love to get them on the show.
How many years were they together before you were born?
Because all your siblings are significantly older than you.
Well, the oldest two aren't
the same father?
Aren't the same father.
Oh, okay.
Half siblings. But, I mean...
Sammy's 7 years older than you.
Sammy's 7 years older than me. So,
So around 7 years before you were born.
Pretty much, yeah. 7 plus. So...
Which gives you a good amount of idea of how long the following is going to be, has been going on for, and still is.
Yes. So I remember my mom's told me so many
Roughly
times.
30 years.
She was at work. She was at work when, I believe somebody calls her office, talks to her boss, and explains to her boss that they're calling from Maury Povich to get her on the show.
Oh, no.
To get her and my father on the show to talk about how he is leeching off of her. And I guess they felt the need to explain that in its entirety to my mom's boss. Because he's like, you know, all right, you know, I'll give her the phone. She gets on the phone, realizes, oh my god, I'm getting called into Maury, gets off the phone. Her boss starts laughing at her. Not mean-spirited, I'm sure, but, that's hilarious, you're gonna be on Maury, oh, it's so funny. I remember she's told me that her whole office watched the episode.
Oh,
When it aired, I guess they had like a viewing party at the office. That's terrible.
That's messed up.
But, so she gets called on to Maury. And,
Poor woman.
That sucks.
it's been a couple years now since I watched the tape.
We watched it. We watched it.
You watched it.
We watched the going away party. We watched it as like a whole group.
Well, I think I left by that point.
You had
yeah,
left by
you were
that
unfortunately
point.
gone.
Unfortunately.
I remember a quote from Tony.
No! It was not at the going away party.
Was it the coming?
It was the Dungeons and Dragons party.
Oh shit! It was right. It was all the
Because-
D&D boys.
Because before we played D&D, we had a 10-person game of Magic.
Oh my god.
Took
I've
fucking
heard of
forever.
that.
Maybe better or maybe worse than you're picturing. It wasn't a 10-man free-for-all. It was a 5v5.
Oh no, I remember the story. Like, I didn't know you watched the Maury tape.
Yes.
then.
We played a 5v5 game of Magic, and then as soon as it was over, I popped in the Maury VHS.
Do you want me to convert it to DVD for your viewing pleasure?
Trying to remember
Yes.
Tony's quote.
You need to sneak it here. That's what you got to do.
Tony's quote about your dad. I'm trying to remember what the fuck he said.
Something good, I'm sure.
He yelled like, "Oh my god, he's such a jackass" or something like that. It was like screaming at
Likely.
the house, and we laughed our fucking ass off. We're like, "He hasn't changed."
Likely. So they get him on there, and they take turns, like, talking to each couple, like, tell us your story. And, they get to my parents. And you know, Maury, he starts talking to my mom. And he's like, you know, tell us about John. Tell us what he does. And she's like, you know, well,
What he doesn't.
Well, he lives with me. I guess he looks after the children. He doesn't work. He doesn't cook. He doesn't clean. He watches the television. He reads the news. He's just kind of there. I support him. Well, Vicky, why don't you leave him? Why are you with this man? Do you love him? I love him, Maury. He's the father of my daughter, I had a child with him. I'm not gonna kick him out. Then it's, well, all right, John.
The mixed reactions from the crowd. Just little murmurs.
It's, all right, John, Are you okay with this? Are you happy with this being who you are? Well, of course I'm happy, Maury. Why wouldn't I be? Like she said, I don't have to do anything. I have a home, I have a family. It's all, given to me. There's no issue. Why wouldn't I be happy? You're hurting your wife, right? Are you okay with that? Oh, Maury, if I was hurting her, she would kick me out. But she's not. Clearly she loves me. And do you love her, John? Of course I love her, Maury. She's the mother of my daughter. The quote that I'll never forget. It was a little weird hearing it from 30 years younger, my dad.
They lost their fucking... The crowd lost their
crowd lost their mind.
They hated
Maury
him.
asks, do you love her? Of course I love her. Well, what do you do to show her you love her? Because you don't cook, you don't clean, you don't bring in an income to support her. How do you show her that you love her? Well, Maury, I love her. We have a daughter after all. You hear the fucking from the entire fucking crowd.
You know how sickened I am?
So my dad talked about making love to my mother on national television.
Oh, God, that's pretty awful.
And his smirk as he says it, as he knows, oh, I dropped this line, I've won. You can't come back from this one.
Crowd fucking hated him. Oh, God. If you could boo someone off stage in Maury, it would have been done.
It was awful. And Maury just awkwardly chuckles and says, well, I suppose if you make love to her, that's one way of showing your love. All right, we'll be back after this commercial break. And that's about where it ended.
That's fucking...
It was like a 3 or 4 minute clip.
He brought up his mom, though.
Did he?
I'm pretty sure he brought up if he needs financial help, he can call his mom.
That does sound very
well that he
familiar.
mentioned if he needs anything, he's got his mom for financial.
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm that the more you talk, the more that sounds familiar. That is what he said, but that brings to mind.
For the record, Your Honor.
That brings to mind another example I can give of the mannerisms of John Petrucha to give an understanding of what this man is. Right?
We found the title of this episode.
I've been listening to this for very close to the 3 years now since I moved back home. After I moved right after I turned 18, I moved opposite end of the country. California coast to fucking...
You're almost 21, you have
North Carolina.
North Carolina coast. I moved as far across the country as I could right after I turned 18. I moved back.
Sure did.
For the last 3 years, I've been listening every opportunity he gets. Anytime he's in a mood, and he's always in a mood, unless he's... Well, I was going to say unless he's drunk, but that's still not true, because he's in a mood when he's drunk. When he's at the golden drunk. He's angry before he starts drinking. He has that first beer. He's tolerable for 15 minutes. Has another one, then he's in the mood. Whenever he's in a mood, I have to listen to this is bullshit, Vicky. When I was his age, I wasn't living in my mommy's house, eating my mommy's food, having mommy pay my bills. Which he brought up when I was unemployed and had to rely on her. I didn't rely on my mommy when I was his age. Do you know what he did when he was my age? He had his mom buy him a van. He lived in that van in her driveway.
And all the time. And you hear your mom yell back, "Yes, you did, John! Your mom bought you a van!" And he's like,
Your
fucking
mom,
no.
First of all, Michael's mom's hilarious.
I love your mom.
My mom is great. I love her.
Oh my gosh, she's so fucking funny.
Good.
But I like how so Dylan lived with Michael for a very short period of time, pretty recently, and I just love the stories of everyone ganging up on John.
Oh god, we did that all the time. Every time I spent the night, John would be in one of his little fucking moods, and he'd be yelling, and he would say something at me, and I would just say something in passing, and Vicky goes, "Here's our fucking chance," and we all jump on it. Like, the context was lost because it was funny at the time, and we didn't remember it. John said something about just remember just we shit on the couch when I was younger. We'd shit on the couch, and she goes, "What the hell are you talking about, John? You shit on the couch?" And I'm like, and we're just going, "Oh, John, that's terrible. Why would you do that?" He's like, "Fuck you guys." He's like, "You're always so fucking mean. You
He got mad.
assholes."
He got mad because she asked him, "You shit on the couch?" He got pissed. He's like, "Oh, leave me the fuck alone."
And I'm like, "No, what was this? What's this about? You shit on the couch? Get off the couch." He's like, "You don't fucking tell me. In my own house. This is bullshit. I can't stand this."
Oh.
It's the fucking best. I still don't know why he said he shit on the couch. He just says things to get a reaction, and then we come back and everything gets angrier.
He's the fake stories you read on Tumblr. He awful. He thinks, what would I like?
We're on the second crash. I'm just watching my phone crash while sitting on the table. Oh my god. That's you coughing and laughing.
Alright. So he thinks like, what could I say right now that would help me sound better in this argument? And just makes up some shit that sounds good. That's why he fucking sits there like, "I didn't rely on mommy when I was your age." Yeah, you asked her to buy you a van so you could live in it in her driveway, John. Okay. Shortly after
we haven't brought up... Oh. Yeah, well, you briefly mentioned when I said that the past 30 years have been like this. He's still unemployed since the Maury Crip. Fuck, dude.
Okay, he has had in the 22 years that I've been alive, he has had 3 jobs? He's had 3 jobs.
Okay.
He's had 3. The first one, when I was really young, him and his best friend ran a tree cutting company, and he worked for him.
I can't imagine your dad cutting trees down.
This was when I was really young, so I don't really remember anything about it.
It's a young John.
I was gonna say sitting him back 20 years.
Semi-young John, I should say.
And he's like dad when I was in high school.
But it was, I was young, so I didn't really understand much about the world. But looking back at what I can remember, the whole operation seemed overwhelmingly illegitimate. Okay, my dad's, as I said, my dad's best friend ran the company. I think it was just the 2 of them. This guy was probably the most hillbilly individual I've ever met, and that's saying something from where I fucking live.
It's true.
But this man, I can give you one fact about him to explain just how good he was. I believe he built his own house or worked with the people to build his house. His house is built around a tree. I remember.
So cool.
Okay, it is cool. However, it's
a lot
fucking janky as fuck.
It's
I remember
probably
as a
got
kid.
a whole lot of bugs.
I remember as a kid, my dad would bring
bugs.
The fucking bugs.
So many bugs.
my dad would bring me over there a lot when I was a kid. Cause he would bring me over there.
Bugs.
Fucking Starship Troopers.
We should review that on this podcast.
Take care of the bugs. Alright, let's fucking watch Starship Troopers after this.
I don't own this movie.
I will watch it tomorrow.
Alright, so my dad would bring me over there all the time when I was a child.
Watch at midnight.
I would hang out with his friends' kids while the 2 of them would work. I remember as a kid thinking wow, they're poor. because I would sit in the living room. They would be like watching TV. They'd be like watching like Cartoon Network, and I'd be amazed because I didn't have a TV growing up. I'd be like amazed, like, oh my god, they have cartoons here. And I remember every once in a while, I would just like glance to the right and just stare at the tree in the middle of their living room. It was a big ass tree, and their house was just built around it. Like there was a tree coming up in the middle of their fucking living room.
God.
Not the middle, the corner of the living room.
Okay,
I
I was picturing literally the middle.
Yeah, I pictured like a round house just around a tree.
Like a circular house?
Yeah.
It was in the corner of the living room, but it was just a fucking tree. And as a kid, I looked over, and I remember not even understanding what it meant to be poor, thinking, wow, you must not have a lot of money to build your house around a tree. Looking back on it now, like 18 years later, I realize there's some nice irony in a dude who runs a tree cutting company not cutting down a tree.
That's why.
Around it.
It's the fucking curse.
But
You had to give the tree 100 souls.
why did I even bring
Another
this out?
tree?
This guy, like, I don't think his business was legitimate, because I do remember he ran out of his house. He had like a work number, but it was just like sitting in his living room, and like he would hope to be home when somebody called and wanted a tree cut down. I remember at one point in time, he was kicked out. Him and his wife got a divorce, and I was too young to ask, hey Dad, where's Bill living? So I don't know what was going on in his life, but he requested from my parents to be able to set up a temporary office in a garage. And he had his business line ran through our garage, and
Ran a tree through the garage too.
Now, is this the place you live at right now?
yes,
Or your
I mean,
parents
not
live?
yes. And I just remember my mom hated it. Too young to understand why. She just always wanted him to get the fuck out of his house. Because he was gross. He was really fucking gross. He didn't flush when he shit.
We have a story.
He was always covered in bugs.
He was.
It's like that one time we did that Backpedalers podcast.
Did we talk about that on the podcast?
God, we...
Okay, I think we talked about it on the podcast.
So that was
No, we didn't.
Okay.
Can we digress real quick? From this?
Super
ahead.
quick brief it. You were there.
Okay, I will explain this. So, I was sick to my stomach the morning, like a school morning, and I just bled in the toilet out my back end.
Or perhaps it was the cable guy.
Oh, God, we'll get into that. But I didn't, and then I'm like, oh, I'll just shower. No big deal. And then I went to school. And then Dylan and I come to do a podcast, and the AC guy had come in, and he'd replaced the filter by my bathroom. And I'm like, Dylan, let's just go to the bathroom. Because Dylan had to go to the bathroom. I'm like, just go. He's like, it's disgusting in there. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, there's shit in the toilet. And I'm like, what? The AC guy just shit in my toilet and left it? He's like, there's no toilet paper. And then I'm like, oh my God, how is that?
There wasn't an empty roll. There was no toilet paper. There's nothing in the garbage either.
he ate the evidence.
So what happened that I pieced together because of common sense was it was a bad one, and I was a little asleep, and I just said I'd just wash in the shower, and I just forgot to flush.
Washed in the shower in the morning. Went back to bed.
I just went to school.
Took a shit. Went back to bed. Woke up. Took a shower.
Ew.
You just got the ew in the situation. It wasn't gross until just now. It wasn't gross until you showered.
All right, so my dad's
that
was my dad's first job was him and his friend running a tree cutting company out of the dude's living room and then out of my garage. I doubt it was a legitimate business. I doubt they fucking filed taxes. I doubt they had a business license.
It's probably them selling weed.
That's a possibility.
If I hadn't have seen them
They were cutting
cutting the tree in my own yard once,
Oh, I'm
I
sure
probably
they're
would
fucking
believe.
cutting a tree, dude.
They're probably cutting a lot of trees, let's be honest.
Jeez. Alright, so that was the one job my dad's had in the last 22 years.
That's the only job? I thought
That was
no,
one.
no, that's-
He said he's got 3.
one of the three. That's
Okay,
one.
I was like...
I worded that wrong. That's the first one. I don't remember my dad having money when I was a child, so I doubt he brought in very much at all.
Michael checked his bank account every day. Dad never had money.
It's like how you're the genealogist of the Petruchas. Michael's the banker. Since he was born.
So,
Boss baby.
let's see. That was
2.
how... Okay, I feel like that ended when I was maybe 6 years old. My dad got his next job, I think it was in...
Was he a cook?
He was a cook before I was born.
Oh, okay.
Was I the 2 jobs I know he had before I was born? He was a cook, and he filed paperwork in a law office.
There's a file clerk.
What a joke.
I mean, that's a nice job for one of us in college.
Yeah, I believe he worked it while he was in college.
Hell yeah, it makes sense.
But he second job was, I think, just 2 years later, because I think I was in 3rd grade at the time. He got a job at Smart Corp.
Fuck.
I don't
think that exists, dude.
No.
I don't think it ever existed.
No.
I think it just
They
tricked
were-
you. That's what you called college.
They they were partners with the hospital here, because he would go to work every day and he would go to the hospital.
Which one?
Feather River.
It's the only one here, you jackass.
He
No,
just
I was being
wants
smart. He said he goes to work every day. He goes to the hospital. I was saying, like, which one is it?
Oh,
Dumbass.
so what was it? I guess they were like,
Fucking cunt.
I was a child. I don't know the specifics. I don't know how the hospital and Smart Corp were related, and I don't know what the fuck Smart Corp did. But I know that every day he would come home from
That looks
work.
pretty cool.
He would come home from work. They gave him a laptop. And he would have to come home, and he would have to. I don't think he would connect to
They trusted him with technology?
I don't think he would
I don't
connect
think
to
he
the
knew
internet.
how it worked. I think he probably just carried it around to look smart.
I don't think he connected to the internet because I don't think we had the internet at the time. I think they It was very weird. They would send him home with discs with data on them,
Okay.
and he would
Was it Windows 95?
he would set up the laptop in the in the dining
Windows
room,
95 laptop.
and he would
Big as a briefcase.
It was the briefcase.
I remember he would just like turn it on,
Pretty cool.
and he would have to like put in the discs, and it would like download data off of them or like process data on them or something. And he would just like leave it running for like 3 hours, occasionally switching out the discs. And then when it was done, it was just, big, you're done. And he would turn it off. And he got me to do it for him.
That's like a job in Idiocracy.
Because I thought it was really cool. As a kid, I thought that was the coolest shit. So we'd come home, we'd be like, Michael, I got a laptop today. And he'd set it down. I'd be so excited. I'd put in the disc, and I would sit and stare at the screen as the progress bar would move from 0 to 100 over the course of an hour.
Okay, I love that fucking shit as a kid.
And I would get so excited, tell my dad, like, Dad, we get 25%! Dad, we get 50%! I don't know what the fuck his job was. I don't know what he was employed to do. I don't know what was going on that laptop. But I know that he had a job for 3 months. And then they fired him.
Do you know why?
It's because all I did was extract data off discs.
He probably
I can assume
realized
it's
they
because
don't
he
need
didn't
that.
do any fucking work when he was there. But he was unemployed
He just
from that
kept
point
uninstalling and installing the same
for
disc.
the next
Didn't think he would know.
6 or 7 years. And then he got his third and most recent job. He was a janitor at a church. He held it, I believe, for half a year. And then they fired him because they realized that he wasn't doing jack shit.
A fucking church. That's the easiest clean job you'll ever do.
Did you work at a church still?
Yeah, for 9 months. And it was
You
awesome.
did better than John.
Yeah. I quit.
So-
I wasn't fired.
That's
So,
true. You did
in-
better than John.
I quit to work a job that worked for 17 months.
So in the last 16 years, my dad has worked 9 months. And then in the 6 years prior to that, he worked some amount of time with some very illegitimate business. Probably not actually doing very much work.
Very illegitimate. Not your ordinary illegitimate business. We ain't talking Ponzi schemes. We're talking breaking into people's houses, planting bugs.
And we're talking bugs.
We're not talking like, oh, he planted the bugs. Planted the bugs, dude. Like they would meet up in the morning, like crack a beer, get a little.
Bugs would? That's pretty fucking.
My dad.
That's pretty scary. Your dad would? Your dad and the bugs?
My dad and his buddy would meet up in the morning,
I don't
crack a
think we can
beer,
talk about that in the podcast.
crack a beer, take it down, get a little drunk, and one would be like, "All right, man, you You bring the bugs. The guy would be like,
And Michael look over real quick because he hears someone shouting bugs throughout the house.
God damn. Fucking hell.
Fucking bugs, dude. Get these fucking bugs out of my face.
So, that's about. Do we have anything else?
I got.
Breaks the fucking mic. I'm gonna fucking.
Bugs. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Piece of shit.
Get your hands away from me.
it doesn't even look like anything real is happening anymore.
He's just shaking me.
This is the fight scene from Force Awakens.
He's just throwing his arms at me. No, he's pounding on me like a fucking gorilla.
Dude, that's like
Gorilla.
Dude, that's like that gorilla video you sent me.
Where he jumps up and he fucking throws shit and T-poses for a second.
Dude, I was telling my dad about it, and he thought it was the funniest thing.
It is the funniest thing. Just search like gorilla fight, and it's like the one fight that exists. It starts off with him throwing shit, and he almost T-poses for a second. He's at like 80% of a T-pose, and then he gets down, and it's just gorillas swinging their arms at each other and jumping backwards. I fucking love it.
But he took a picture. Dylan took a screenshot of it, and it's just him like reaching under a ball, like pulling it out of his beehole.
I fucking love gorillas.
And like fucking overhand.
It's underhand.
Shit.
It's like it's reached behind the back, reaches under his ass, and then it like swings it up, and then he poses instantly. It's so weird.
It was like it was almost like a softball.
Exactly.
You say soft boiled shit.
It was
Almost like it was soft boiled. I mean, to be fair, shit's kind of our soft boiled.
not all the time. Let's be honest.
They're hard boiled in my body.
So we're keeping this on the podcast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Every inch of it. Every inch. You know what I'm saying?
We're not talking about
Well,
that
that's pretty much it for this podcast. I hope you all enjoyed it.
All right.
I did.
Have a good night, fellas. Stay
Goodbye.
fucking horny.
Don't do it.